My deepest apologies. I've got no idea what has just happened.
What happened there?
I literally pressed go live and everything just stopped. So yes, welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I've never done this before. I hope you are all well. Welcome to our match preview for who are we playing? Burnley. West Ham versus Burnley. I am back in the studio and it's currently not a very happy return to the studio. I will be totally honest. But I have two fantastic guests with me. Mike and Sam, how are we?
Yeah, fine, mate. Fine.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Jake. Nice to see you.
Good. You're both doing significantly better than I am. It's telling me that I can't leave the studio. Oh dear. But yes, thank you very much indeed for joining us in what is a big game coming for West Ham on Saturday. Now I have my two faithful gentlemen with me, Gary and Nigel, have been rather traitorous this evening and not joined us. Gary even worse, because Gary was joining us and then he messaged me about 2 hours ago and said, sorry, can't make it. So he's definitely just a bit under the thumb, isn't he, really? But, you know, it is what it is. Mike, how was your holiday?
Very good, thanks, mate. Yeah, I managed to get home in time for the game on Sunday, so...
And a very good game it was too. We will start there, Sam, and a polite, what's the word? Surprise for me, I must say.
Yeah, I'm gutted that I wasn't there. It's the first win we've had at home since I've been a season ticket holder, so I'm slightly worried that I might be the curse.
Oh dear, Sam. Oh dear.
If we lose at the weekend, I'm never going back. But no, I was out on Sunday and looked at the score about 7-8 minutes in and saw we were 1-0 down. I went, like, I'm not going to look at the score again. Like, it's going to be a cricket score. We're 1-0 down, few minutes in, like typical West Ham this season. And then turned on the radio at about the 70th minute and we were 2-1 up. And yeah, had not seen that coming from anywhere. And then watching the highlights on Match of the Day and watching the game back on Sky, it looked like we deserved to win. And let's just take over the presenting of this tonight. What's happening to Jake?
I'm back. Don't worry, I'm here. I think it's all going up the wall, but it's okay. Honestly, take me back to London, where everything is settled and calm. But is everything okay? Can you hear me and see me?
We've got you.
All good, mate.
And the delay had gone because there was about a 15-second delay between me talking and Mike replying to me a minute ago, which was not good. But right, let's resume normal business, shall we? As yeah, I mean, it was a good win, Mike, and it felt like there was a bit of togetherness about it as well.
He's gone quiet.
You know. Oh, hello.
Got
Richard,
you again now.
50p in the meeting, mate.
Put 50p in.
At the wall. Dear me. Everything okay now?
Yeah, got you now, mate. Got you now. Yeah,
okay.
The atmosphere, mate, I thought was the best in a long, long time. And if that first shot, Bowen, have gone in, I think we'd have went on and won that game probably 4 or 5-0. You know, but maybe it is what we needed. Do you know what I mean? For them to go down the other end and score, because do you know what I mean? It seemed to galvanise them a bit. You know, I know this year we've gone 1-0 down and that's it. We just collapsed and led down and said carry on. But this seemed a bit different. The fans were with them. Yeah, there was a lot of reasons for that. The lineup, let's face it, it's everywhere. We've all picked that lineup, haven't we? Ask 90% of West Ham fans would have picked that lineup, you know, and that I think gave everyone, you know, a bit of a lift. And then you could see it on the pitch, you know, from the first minute we were unlucky. We fought our way back into the game and thoroughly deserved the result.
We did, absolutely. Right, let's see who is joining us in the chat, and hopefully my connection is gonna hold out. Jake is borrowing my studio. Well, there was this whole narrative that when I went away, that you know this studio was going to be like overtaken and you were going to do it all. But you know, I've yet to see any of that, and to be honest. And here I am, and the same pen that was here 4 weeks ago is still here now. So, nothing much has changed around here. Jeffrey, thanks for joining us. Hope you are well. Sharky, thank you very much indeed. Some pictures. Thank you for joining us, Sharky. Gifted you that, so thank you very much to Sharky for that one, which is very good indeed. But having said all that, it was a brilliant performance. It was great to get the win. It means absolutely nothing if we go and drop an awful performance and lose on Saturday against Burnley. We need to win, and 6 points in a week. I mean, it couldn't get any better, Sam, if we could do that. And it's still just as important this game as it was, say, a week ago.
Yeah, I think if anything, this game is more important. I think we always needed to beat Burnley in this game, whatever had happened against Newcastle. But I think we've just got that little bit of optimism this week. We've seen players going into training with smiles on their faces on social media and stuff. We've got fans happier. There was an atmosphere in the ground. If we don't build on that in this game, everything decent that we got from last weekend is undone and more. So yeah, this game, and now we've got that hope, and we know it's the hope that kills you, but it's beyond must win for me at the weekend.
Absolutely. It is the 6-pointer that, the cliche is attached to. Well, we're saying we're going to hashtag rent that room out, but actually, I came back into the room, nothing could change. There was actually a bag of sweets here waiting for me. So it's almost like I had a gift waiting for me. So cheers to whoever put them there. Mum, thank you very much indeed. They're good as well. So yeah, it's got better, this room, actually, since I was last here. But whilst I munch on my squashies now, you're going to hate this because this could bring yet more technical problems. We have a Burnley fan. Pardon?
What, the squashies?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Burnley weren't in the Premier League last year, but we've got a good friend of the channel, Dan from Turfmoor House TV. We couldn't quite manage to get him on tonight, but he sent us over a little 90-second video summarizing Burnley's season and his thoughts ahead of the game. Now, I haven't watched this video, so literally anything could be in this video, and I'm putting my whole reputation on the line that he has sent a factual and informative video. So I'm watching this at the same time as you. Here's Dan giving the Burnley point of view, and I really hope this works.
Hey, Hammers fans, just want to give you my Burnley perspective in regards to this weekend's game. So I just want to say thank you, Jake, for inviting me to put in a video. And to be honest, I was happy before the Arsenal game. 2 wins on the bounce against, opposition that we're in and around with Wolves and Leeds. Coming up against yourselves, I'm expecting another tasty encounter. I think, obviously, a lot's been said at your place with the way you've been set up, the way the protests are and things. And the last time we played was when there was the mass protests. So I'm looking forward to a feisty one, a very end-to-end game. Obviously, you guys getting your first win last weekend was tremendous for you. Put a little bit of doubt in every Burnley fan's mind, I bet. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do, we can achieve. I hope we revert back. Let's just say I hope we revert back to the back four, because back five for us is pathetic. Nobody likes it. I can't stand it. Don't know why Parker keeps doing that. But that said, yeah, let's hope for a good game. If I had to give a prediction, I'm probably gonna say I'll go for a Desmond. I'll go 2-2 at the London Stadium, and I'll take that as long as we're not 2-0 up like we did against Wolves, and then punish ourselves again. Good luck for the rest of the season.
There we go. See, and my career is still intact. I don't know what I'm doing here. There we go. Some interesting thoughts there. Now, of course, as he mentions, a couple of wins against teams around them in Wolves and Leeds in the last few weeks, and he's kept themselves after 10 games. They're above the relegation zone, which I think most Burnley fans would have taken before a ball was kicked this season. Sam, they were a team that were pretty resigned to relegation before a ball had been kicked this season, Burnley. It just seemed like they were down by default. I'm not expecting of you to watch a shed load of Burnley this season, but what are you expecting to see from a Scott Parker side on Saturday?
they're going to be an organised side. That's one thing you're going to get with Scotty Parker. They're going to be. I'll be honest, I haven't watched any of their games this season, so this might be absolute rubbish. But I'd expect them to be organised in the middle. You look at their results, and they've done all right against the teams that you'd expect them to do all right against, and Sunderland, who we'd have expected them to do all right against at the beginning of the season, but maybe not with how the season's gone. And they've done badly against the teams you'd expect them to do badly against. So I think a lot of it's going to come down to who scores first, a little bit, because I think if they can get the wind in their sails, I think they're going to be a confidence team and they're going to do something decent. I think if we can score first, there's been a few games this season where they've conceded sort of 2, 3, 4 goals, and I did see them play Cardiff and they were shocking, but I think that might have been their B team in the cup. But yeah, you'd expect them to be well organised with Scotty Parker there.
For sure. We've got to get ourselves on the front foot, Mike, at the end of the day. You know, they're a team coming here hopeful, and you know, you can't blame them for being hopeful and wanting to get something out of the game. A team that is currently below them in the league, putting everything else in context to the side. We've got to get ourselves on the front foot early and try and enforce ourselves in the game to get the crowd up.
Yeah, if we can get the crowd up again, but hopefully there's a bit of confidence in the side. Confidence is the big thing, really. You know, we know we've got players that are, you know, good enough to keep us in this league. I don't think the squad is strong enough. I think our 11, and that's it at the moment. That is a problem. But yeah, if you want me to talk about Burnley, what I've seen of them, they look, yeah, as Sam said, well organised, quite tough defensively. They were well set up defensively. I know Dan there's saying about he didn't like the back five, but they've been hard to break down. They've been really hard to break down. So it does make me think that this game could be a bit of a stalemate. I hope it's not. I hope we get out of the blocks and I hope we get at them. And if we do, and we start playing with a bit of confidence, a lot of it is going to be down in that midfield again. I think Paquetá, if he plays like that again, he'll have too much for Burnley. But we all know what Lucas is like. He'll have a good one. In a game, he'll do something absolutely outstanding, and then he'll do something totally shocking. So let's just hope we see some more consistency out of the guy. And if he does, I mean, he will. We need him big time. We need him playing at the top of his game. And that helps Potts and, you know, Fernandez, who I thought were brilliant on Saturday. Those three just look really good together. That worked. You know, we've all been saying it. We needed the legs in midfield. You know, we got Souček to come on and run around a lot. But fair dues to the guy. You know what I mean? He rolled his sleeves up, and he's not moaning about being put on the bench. You know, and that must be you know, because he's a good squad man. Whatever you say, you know what I mean. He's good to have around the place for sure. So that sort of thing bodes well with me.
Absolutely, for sure. Sharky says Anthony looks a good player, scored a few goals for Burnley. Cullen going well also.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Team selection was a big takeaway and talking point coming off the back of Sunday's win over Newcastle. Now, will I be fair in saying that Nuno would be a fool if he picked any but the front six that we saw against Newcastle? Potts, Paqueta, Fernandez, Bowen, Somerville, and Wilson. Sam, are you expecting any different?
They always say don't change a winning side. I think he's changed the side every game so far, I think, but it seems to be that he's been learning what to do. I think it'll be the same lineup. I think if there is going to be a change, it would only be, I think, Wilson for Souček, to bring Wilson on later in the game. I'd much rather we started Wilson and tried to get off on the front foot, but that's the only thing I can sort of really see maybe being done. But start the striker, get the fans behind you.
Absolutely, yeah. And that was a really interesting moment on Sunday, Mike, wasn't it? Where Souček came on for Wilson, and like Wilson had, you know,
was sort of struggling a little bit. He was huffing and puffing, and there was a moment where Souček did genuinely go up front for about 5 minutes, and I thought I was going to say. Then he drifted back, and Bowen went up there. And I don't think anyone really knew. I don't think anyone really knew what was going on. People were just drifting. You know, it was like, oh, you go there for 5 minutes and just, you know, we'll worry about it later, kind of thing. But that could be the strategy. Wilson plays an hour, and then Souček comes on to get himself about and sort of play that role. I mean, he scored the third and final goal for us on Sunday, but you'd like to think that will be the ploy going forward with those 6, and then Souček coming on as that sub.
Yeah, maybe. I think he's a bit worried about Wilson. You know what I mean? With his record of fitness is not great, is it? We all know that. And I thought he was superb on Saturday. The amount of times they got 2 big centre halves. The amount of times he brought the ball down on his chest.
And he held it up and he distributed it well.
He gave us a chance to get up the pitch a bit. I just thought he was really good. And I could understand Nuno thinking, hang on, let's get him off now. I don't want him getting injured. We're going to need him next week. I think that's what he was thinking. And he knows that Souček will roll his sleeves up and run around out there. Yeah. It wasn't working, so he swapped it around again and pushed Bowen up there and sat Souček back in. But, I mean, we did sit back a bit. That's what worried me. But Newcastle didn't really threaten us when we sat back in. You know, when we went 2-1 up, and we're sort of like thinking, oh, hang on, they're going to be at us now. They were, but to be fair, we looked defensively the best I've seen us for such a long time. I mean, Tobido was heading balls away. You know, and Kilman probably had one of his best games. You know, people saying he wasn't great, but I thought it's probably one of his best games for us.
We were all still nervous. That was the thing. We sat back and we sat back and we sat back, and I counted at the end. We had 7 defenders on the pitch.
Yeah.
Like we brought on Walker Peters and Igor came on, and it was just basically Bowen and everybody else was defending at one point, and it was the proper part of the bus. And people were getting a little bit concerned, but Newcastle weren't really, you know, testing Areola. But we were still nervous in that sense. And football's funny because look, we didn't win at home for 248 days, and now, you know, we're probably the bookies' favourites to win again, to make it our 2nd win in 6 days. It's a funny old game, isn't it?
It is. It's mental because if we'd lost last week, I think we'd still have been favourites to win this game. But I think the fans would have been not understanding if we'd lost. But it was just been another loss, if you know what I mean. Oh, West Ham, we can't win at home. If we lose on Saturday, it's going to feel a lot worse than West Ham. We just can't win at home, because we won last week. But I think we've got every chance. And maybe we can just get out of that bottom. I think we can get out of the bottom 3 if we win on Saturday. I think we can
get by 3 goals, wouldn't we?
3 goals,
3-0.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know what I'm going to predict then.
Very good. Very good. We'll get onto that in just a second. Before we do, I mean, one player we cannot not talk about going into this game is the man that got man of the match, and who got a very warm reception when he actually came back out onto the pitch after the game on Sunday, so we could have his little photo with the trophy. It was Freddie Potts, of course, with the people that had stayed in the ground for the sit-in. There was a rather warm reception for him, and it seemed like he was, he enjoyed every part of it, and a smile on his face as he walked around the ground afterwards, with the fans singing his name and singing it with, conviction as well. It was actually a proper chant going around the London Stadium, which I sort of rubbed my ears and went, is this really happening here? And there was actually an atmosphere in the ground. And Freddie Potts is a player and a person and an individual that's going to get the crowd up. And I said it to Gary, who I stood with when the team came out, and we saw Potts there, and we went, that's going to get the crowd up. And it did, undoubtedly. And not only did his selection get the crowd up, his performance did as well, Mike. It was very, I don't like to say it, I spoke about it on my video earlier for you avid viewers. It looked like Declan Rice. It did, if it had been number 41 on the back of that shirt, I wouldn't have questioned it.
To be honest, I don't want to hype the guy up too much. No. You know what I mean? When I saw him first came on, didn't he, in a European game a couple of years ago. I thought, this guy's got something. He really has. And he reminded me of Declan Rice then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I could see comparisons. Let's just put it like that. Just comparisons.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Then. But, I mean, just winning a tackle. And then people talk about the West Ham way and what is it? And it's a joke and all that. That is the West Ham way. For me, that is a homegrown player rolling his sleeves up, getting his opportunity and taking his opportunity. Now, he ain't going to be man of the match every game, and he's a young lad and he's got a lot to learn yet, but I can see a hell of a lot of potential in the boy.
Absolutely. And, I thought he had to come in, and we spoke about it on the preview this time last week. I said, the guy's got to come in, he's got to start. And then we were sat there, Simon, we were saying, it's a very tough midfield. It's a very, they've Guimaraes, Tonali, Joe Linton. I mean, they weren't very good. We've got to stress that. They were pretty poor from start to finish, Newcastle. But he nullified them, he handled them. And he is a player that, as Mike has just illustrated, he's got the fans up. And he's not really that good every week, but finally it's a bit of a leader and it's a bit of commanding authority in the midfield.
Yeah, I think they said it on Match of the Day that West Ham, we had a leader on the pitch, and they were showing all the times when he was basically dictating the play. This is a real young lad coming into the side. We do need to be careful not to put too much pressure on him and too much expectation, as we've done it with kids in the past, and they've gone on to not necessarily even recreate that first performance again. But he did look good. Yeah, he did look good, and he reminds me of his dad. I remember his dad playing for West Ham. I'm old enough to remember his dad, but
I'm not old enough just to.
I remember when his dad started playing.
Well, I don't remember that. So
you remember when his great granddad started playing, Mike? Don't start
that. But just that bit of metal in midfield, just someone that's prepared to put a foot in, and he was so unlucky that goal was disallowed. Like, if Souček was a size smaller in his boots, that was a goal. And yeah, it would have been really fitting for him to get a goal on his full debut. But I think he's going to get better. We just need to make sure we don't overhype him. And
don't expect too much.
Turn him into Declan Rice after one decent performance.
Absolutely, for sure. Right, let's see some comments. Think of your predictions. Put them in the chat. Whilst I try and second guess Mike. He's had a holiday. He's in a good mood. I think I know what I'm going for. Words and pictures. Seems we're going to be in the lower end of the league this season. Winning at home to clubs around us is of paramount importance. Another 6-point must-win game. Definitely put. Absolutely, for sure. Real shame Potts saw his goal disallowed. Would you start the same team? I would. I think so. I don't see why not. Freddie is a bit taller than his dad. I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
is he?
His dad is on the team.
His dad
Sorry? Now last week's game saw the sit-in after the game, and this game sees the big march from Stratford Station to the London Stadium, and they're gonna hand in the petition for David Sullivan and Karen Brady to step down as acting and visible members of the board. Not necessarily saying sell the club right now, but to appoint a CEO that is competent and capable of doing the job of running the football club. Now the sit-in lost a little bit of momentum because we won last week and people were more worried about getting a pint. To be honest, there was more people in the Brewdog Beer Garden bar just at the top of Bobby Moore lower than they were actually in the stand, which was a little bit counterproductive. And they need to get people a bit more cohesively together because there was just little dots of people everywhere. But this is the big protest. This is what's going to make the back page of the paper on Sunday. And it's important because, again, if we'd have lost last week, we'd have been sitting here and saying this is very reminiscent of, what was it, 7 years ago, that Burnley at home game where it all went horribly wrong that day. Let's hope that that's not the case this time around, but nevertheless, Mike, it's an important day.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, we've got to keep it up. Got to keep going. I mean, I really want to do it, but my knee is dodgy as hell, and I don't think I'm going to be able to walk that far. But I'll try and get down to the back of the to the back of the stadium where the rest of them will be congregated at the end. Yeah, we've got to do something. We can't just sit down and take this on the chin. Something's got to be done for this club to move on. I don't listen to TalkSport because I hate a few of the characters on there. But I seen a clip of Joe Cole saying this club could go right, back up to the top 5, 6 in the league if it was run properly. It's got the fan base, the ground. Someone should be able to do something with it. If someone comes in with the right attitude and the right amount of money, it's there. It's all set up. It's ready to go. You just need someone to come in and take it on and push this club forward.
For sure. With the nature of these campaigns and protests, that if nothing really happens, it will sort of dwindle. That's just nature. That's unfortunately what happens. Sam, it feels like there's a bit of head of wind that has been generated at the moment. There's a bit of momentum about it, and that's where it's got to be capitalised on, in the sense of, if anything's going to happen, we've got to go in for the kill now, in that sense. Otherwise, if we do it half-heartedly, people's attention spans are going to dwindle, and they'll just accept what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I like that the protests are now trying to get something that's achievable, because we can't ask people to sell a club when there's no one that wants to buy it, so there's no one seemingly coming forward and going like, I want to buy this club and here's 3 billion quid or whatever it's going to cost. Getting them to not have the control and to bring someone else in and bring in a CEO and whatever, that's achievable. That's something that they could do. They could choose to do that tomorrow morning if they wanted to. So I think that's a really good thing, and I think it's good that we're looking at something that's achievable. I just hope that we keep these protests as much as possible away from the pitch, which I think we've done so far really well, which has been good. But let's just make sure that it isn't negativity that comes into the ground after a 45-minute, 1-hour march, lots of negative chants for an hour. As soon as you're walking through that gate, it's got to be back to bubbles. It's got to be back to the positivity. And that was what I really liked about the sit-in. Firstly, it was going to make people stay, and maybe the football did that in the end. But we were in a position where we were doing it at the end. So the positivity had to be there throughout the game. And I would much prefer that we went down that route more often than potentially bringing negativity into the first 15, 20 minutes of a game, because that could cost us, and it has cost us. The players being negative in the first 20 minutes has cost us a few games this season.
Absolutely. No, I agree. And it looks like Sam just birthed some sort of animal in front of us
Yeah,
live.
sorry, the cat's come up.
The cat.
Very good. Very good indeed. Right, let's go on to some predictions. Now, I think I know what Mike's going to go for, so I'm going to let Sam go first. Sam, a prediction?
I was going to go 2-0, but if we've got to win 3-0 to go above them in the league, I'll go 3-0.
Look at that positivity. I've got a feeling there's going to be some positive predictions this week, and that is why I've got into Mr. Hatch's head, and I think it's going to be West Ham United 2, Burnley 1.
No, I'm going for 3-1 again.
3-1. Wow.
Yep.
Very good. Very good. See, bit of sunshine. Look, he's got his positivity back. Lovely. Lovely. So, a clean sweep of wins predicted. We haven't had that for quite a while on the channel. That bodes well, doesn't it? We've all just jinxed it megally for Saturday, but let's hope it is all good. Now, there's only one more important thing going on this evening. Mike, are you a traitor or are you a faithful? Have you been watching?
My wife's a massive fan.
Don't tell me you haven't been watching it.
I've watched bits of it. Right.
Okay.
So, but I'm gonna have to watch it tonight.
Yeah, the big final. Sam, I've got a feeling that the faithfuls are going to win, but I'm rooting for the traitors. I'll be honest.
No, I'm Team Joe Marler all the way.
Joe Marler, yeah.
What a character he is, and he's worked it all out. I I think it'll be Joe and Nick still there.
I think it'll be them as the face-off, and then it's who can hold their nerve and whether they'll believe each other or not in the end. I think they will. I think you're right. But that is all to come at 9 o'clock. And I feel rather every time I see Claudia Winkleman, because I mean it was Halloween last week, and believe it or not, every year at Halloween there's someone dresses up as somebody that's like in at the time and like somebody that's famous at that specific time. If I tell you the amount of people at a Halloween party last week that were dressed up as Claudia Winkleman, you'll be incredibly surprised with the fringe and the hair.
Well, you've got the fringe, Jake.
Yeah.
So
I knew that was coming. Yeah. But it's not quite dark enough. It's not black, my hair. I've just had it cut. Mike, it was cut about an hour ago. Can you not tell?
What? No.
It was cut an hour ago, my hair. Can you not tell?
What? Oh, God. Who's your barber?
Honestly, you can't help some people. Like, stuck in there. It's all about stuck in their ways. Like, honestly.
Oh, dear, mate.
What did you dress up as, Meg?
I dressed up as one of the men in black because I didn't really, to be honest, you'll be hardly surprised to know that I didn't want to pay for an outfit, so I just wore black and a pair of sunglasses. To be totally honest.
Oh. I thought he was dressed up as a nudist.
That'd be scary.
Yeah, but what's the point? What's the point of paying 15 or 20 quid on an outfit you'll wear once? Like, I don't want to do that.
Or again next year.
No, men in black, sunglasses. I had a great time.
Well done. Long as you enjoyed it, Jake.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. You know, well, I mean, how many Halloween
If you didn't
parties
spend
you
anything, you're bound to enjoy it.
What?
As you didn't spend anything, you're bound to have enjoyed it.
Exactly. And that's what I didn't. And, you know, I supplied Gary a pint last week, but I made sure to get in before the 45-minute cut.
I did see Gary afterwards on the train.
Did you? Oh, right.
Yeah. He had a smile on his face.
Yeah, well, he was. I've got the picture. I didn't upload it, but he was supposed to be on tonight, Gary. But remember now, I have picked. I mean, you've all seen the picture, but I have picture evidence of Gary's pint. And even I had to go up to the bar. I went, go on, go and buy me a pint. Then he didn't even come up to the bar with me. He just like forced me to the bar. It was ridiculous. But well, here he is. Like, he was jolly all afternoon. He was just incredibly.
Yeah,
there he is.
Smiling on the train when I saw him.
Yeah, jolly all afternoon, and yeah, and honestly, the look of disaster on his daughter's face when he said, "Go on, Jake, go and buy me a pint," and she was like, "Well, you can't, you can't expect him to go and buy you a drink." I'm like, honestly, Lauren, this is what it's like. This is the cruelty that I'm subjected to. You see. And to be fair, Mike, good job you didn't come round. Otherwise, it'd cost me another £4.50.
I was heading round that way, looking for you. But I
bet you were looking for me, knowing that 3 pints were going out. Yeah.
You must have seen me and hid.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. You'll have to wait till the Liverpool game now, but I haven't got a ticket yet, so so maybe not. What a shame that would be.
I'll see if I can get you a ticket, Jake.
Honestly, anything for a pint, isn't it? But honestly, Sam, the only thing I can think of is like Blofeld sat there on his desk, just stroking his cat in the James Bond films.
If I don't stroke her, she's going to come up to the laptop. So she's jumped up because she doesn't know the voices and she wants to know who's on the screen.
On the other end.
But she's been like this all week. I don't know what's up with her. Every single meeting I've had this week, she's had to get involved.
Did you think we're going to win on Saturday? Just ask her.
No.
No.
She's going 2-1 Burnley.
Oh wow, blimey.
What's that about?
What a negative Nancy. Oh. What's the cat's name?
Boudica.
Oh, I was really hoping it was going to begin with N, so we could go like negative. Negative Boudica doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it?
No. Burnley fan Boudica.
Yeah, Burnley Boudica. There we go. Yeah, very good. Very good. All right, thank you very much indeed, everybody, for getting involved. You went dressed as a football referee. Now I went as a very stylish-looking Men in Black individual, and well, yeah, I look pretty good. Not to blow smoke up my own backside or anything. It was good. It wasn't as good as the Claudia Winkleman lookalikes. That got the 10 out of 10 and a nod of the head for me. Actually, this will make you laugh. Is that the other really good one that I saw? I was just leaving the accommodation it was Wednesday. We had it last week, and there were these 3 lads, and they dressed up as sumo wrestlers. So they had these massive inflatable,
Big suits on,
inflatable things on, and they couldn't fit in the lift to get down to the bottom. Like, they had to wedge themselves into the lift, and then they were like wobbling about. And then I have to say, afterwards, like, they were struggling to stay on the pavement, which, I mean, I've never had that problem before, having to stay on a pavement after a night, never ever. But yeah, they were rather massive, big sumo blobs, which was also good as well. Mike, what did you dress up as? David Moyes?
Yeah. How did you guess?
Yeah. Oh,
But his tan is not as good as mine.
I was going to say, I expect you've got a better tan than him on the 15th holiday this year. Have you got any more holidays booked this year, Mike, or is that it?
That's it for this year.
Oh, when's your next one? January the 1st?
January the 29th to Lanzarote.
Oh, blimmin' hell, January 29th. Oh.
Got a bit of a
way. What a way. How are you going to cope? Do you want me to, send you a picture or something? Or like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a nice mural on the wall, of the sunset and
yeah.
pina colada.
Pina colada. What are you like? Pina colada. Honestly. But there we go. Right. We are 22 minutes away from the traitor starting. Mike's better half is very eager to watch, so we better hurry up and better get going. Sam's eager to watch. I'm eager to watch. I hope personally there's some snacks downstairs ready for me to eat, because my big homecoming, there was no bunting, there was no like party poppers, nothing at all. Just hello, you're right.
He's back again. Ugh.
No, I've been back once every 3 or 4 weeks, but it's a big occasion.
Oh, I did see some people letting off fireworks for it.
Oh, very good. Very good. Let's hope that the performance on Saturday warrants fireworks and West Ham pick up another 3 points from us. Come on, you irons, and we will see you soon right here on West Ham Official. Does the cat do come on your irons or not? No?
Can't cross
it. Come on, you irons. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you guys.